talk a little bit about note relationships today on the 10-hole diatonic harmonica. I'm using the key of A. Before I do that, I want to let you guys know I have got some Suzuki Manjis in stock that are for sale. I have 3 in the key of A and 4 in the key of C. If you have yet to try one, or you need one in the key of A or C, and you already know about it, and you want to purchase it from me, let me know. I'd love to get it in your hands, and I can let these go for $55 out the door, the shipping included. And in fact, I'll throw in an incentive for you. If you don't have a copy of my previous blues CD, Chicago Sessions, great Chicago CD, I'll throw it in for an extra $5. They're normally $15. So for an extra $5, for $60 out the door, you get a Manji and you get my CD. How's that? I've got 4 in the key of C left and 3 in the key of A. All right, housekeeping is done. Well, one more quick thing. This is big though. I shouldn't say quick. I'm working on my next CD, which will be called Knockin', and it's going to be primarily, possibly 100% originals. That's the goal, and I've almost finished all the material. I've got most of the players lined up and a studio picked out. My goal is to, at this point, fly to Chicago and make a great CD with some of the best players available out in Chicago. I'm very excited about it, and I'm working on a profile page at Kickstarter.com. It's not done yet, so I can't put the link to my personal profile on Kickstarter yet. But I will put a link to their website in the video description so that you can at least check out the website and see what it's about. It's a way for you to donate to this project and really contribute and get something back from it. So, for example, on one of the lower levels, you could just pre-order my CD. And you go to Kickstarter and you send your money through Kickstarter, and you've reserved an initial copy of the first CD signed by me, and whatever else I'll throw in. There will be different levels that you can contribute. If you don't have that kind of money and you just want to throw in a couple bucks, you can do that too, just for the sake of good karma, or to contribute to my project. And then there will be all these other higher levels where there will be incentives and kickbacks that'll come to you, and you can read all about it. I need everyone's support, so if you can repost this link to your Facebook page, to send it to anybody you think that might be interested in a good blues CD, or harmonica heavy blues CD. That's what I'm aiming for, is to get this investment going. I need some help, financially speaking. So if you can contribute, that will help this project get off the ground much quicker. All right. Now let's get to the lesson here. Key of A. I want to talk about note relationships in a very loose way, which is often how I talk about things. I love to get very specific when it comes to technique. I think that that's something you can slice very thinly and really analyze in detail. And if you're a big theory head, you could delve into theory and talk about music, which I'm not a big theory person. But I want to talk about the note relationships on a 10-hole diatonic. It's such an interesting thing that we play this 10-hole instrument, so you can blow and draw, which gives you 20 notes, and then of course you can apply advanced techniques to bend a note to get missing notes, and all of a sudden you can become much more chromatic with the instrument. It becomes much more interesting because you can begin to express yourself more like a keyboard or a guitar or a saxophone, as you know. So note relationships, I just want to go into it a little bit here. I could go on and talk for a long time about this topic. I think it's really interesting. I think one way to approach the topic is to take your 10-hole diatonic. Again, I'm speaking from I keep saying that because I want to make sure if you have a 16-hole or 24-hole or chromatic, I think it's the same thing can be applied, but that's not what I'm going to talk about today. If we look at the 3-draw, which is really interesting on the harmonica, on the 10-hole, because it's got 3 different bends available. So now I've got so much expression available to me just out of that one hole. Just in the draw note, I can really take that note and shape it and stretch it. And for 1 through 6, if you don't already know this, you're draw bending. 7 through 10, to bend a note, you're blow bending. Different technique. But let's talk about the 3 hole. It's a great starting point to begin to experiment. And when I say note relationships, what I mean is the relationship between either 2 notes or more. So to play the 3 draw and go to the 2 draw versus 3 draw, 4 draw, those 2 series of notes have very different meanings. And your goal is to assign an emotional value to those. Now, that's a very elementary way to look at it, but you can really dig deep with this concept. 3 draw, 3 half step bend, and 2 draw. Now I've got 3 notes that together create a meaning. You should have some sort of emotional, or because we hear the notes, and a series of notes is a phrase, musically speaking, right? But if it doesn't have any sort of meaning or emotional, something attached to it that you've assigned in your brain and in the way it makes you feel, then how will I really decide in a split moment when I'm improvising what should come out? I won't. I'll just be reaching in the dark to try to make music. And making music is really interesting when you have a lot of emotional values pre-assigned to relationships, note relationships. I could start with the experiment by just playing 3 notes like I did. And change out just the 3rd note. So the first 2 notes stay constant. And then I went 2 draw. But next time I could go 1 draw, which has a totally different feel and mood that's associated with it. So if you've never thought about it like this, begin digging within a small space on the harmonica and assigning emotional values to those series of notes. And maybe a good experiment would be to take 4 notes in a row. 1 draw, 2 blow, 2 draw, and 3 draw. And just play it over and over until you start to feel the mood of those notes, of that phrase. And then just switch out the last note, which is the 3 draw. So next time I'll play a different note. And it doesn't matter where you go. 4 draw, or 6 blow. 5 blow maybe. And then you can continue to add on and change the 5th note only. Have a constant 4th note that you choose and begin to change up the 5th, and you'll discover new riffs in the process. But more importantly than the riffs themselves are the meaning behind them. All right, it's kind of ambiguous, I realize, but and simplistic, but you can really dig because you've got these bends. Like I said in the beginning, the 3 draw has all these bends. So it goes on and on and on with the possibilities of discovering new riffs, and most importantly beginning to really pay attention to what sort of emotional value do you feel when you play those notes. So just something to chew on, something to think about. And that's what I want to talk about today. So get out your harps and start digging. And if you're too bored to do it, just the harmonica alone, put on some backing tracks or a good blues CD, maybe Chicago Sessions. That's not a bad idea. And jam along and start to really pay attention to what mood, how it affects you. And then the next level for you will be to take those phrases that you've been working on, maybe even take notes and of your thoughts that are happening and the emotion that's going on while you play it, and then you can compare those phrases to other separate phrases and see what happens in context when they're played one after the other or in reverse order. And then just take one of those and switch out that one phrase and have a new phrase, and all of a sudden it has this one phrase. We could change that second phrase. And you're really altering the mood once again even further of that first phrase. Alright, I'm kind of going off the deep end here, so I'm going to cut it. But thanks for tuning in, and look out, and go check out Kickstarter.com. Because I can't tell you how much I'll need your support on this project, and if you're inclined, please spread the link to this video and my Kickstarter page when it's up, to your Facebook page, anywhere you think somebody might be interested in contributing. Alright, have a great weekend. It's Friday. And I'll see you guys in a couple weeks. I'm going to be out of town for the next week and a half or so. So I'll get back to you early to mid-October. Alright? If I have any updates before then, I'll post it. Otherwise, thanks for tuning in.